Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Edmonton, Canada. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spas, by SFuels, go longer, Quintana, HOKA One, Forum Smart Swim Goggles, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, Premium Plus Sports, and our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest has been on a pretty major roll lately, Mr. Reinaldo Colucci from Brazil. 3 sub-8s in a row?
Yes, that's it, Bob.
That is so cool. 3 sub-8s. You're 36 years old, and it's like you're going faster now than you ever have.
Wow, yeah, for this distance for sure. But as we see the young guys, like the Norwegians doing what Frodeno did for the last years, I was racing a lot for ITU.
Right.
And now we're bringing, I think, the fast speed from the short course. We kind of delivering that in the long.
Right.
So it's work with them, and it's work with me too. So pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so 2 Olympics. Now, starting out, were you more of a swimmer or runner? What got you into triathlon?
It's quite funny because my dad didn't know how to swim, and he doesn't know until today. And then his first matter was, okay, I want my kids to learn how to swim quickly.
Yes.
So he put me to swim like in a social project when I was like 5 years old. But then I started to get friends there, and I started to train like every day. But I was really skinny, like I'm still pretty skinny, but
right.
When I was a kid, I was really, really skinny. So I was never fast enough to make like a podium or to win a medal in a kids race.
Right.
So then I was quite getting disappointed, like, I train, and I never beat the guys. But then when I did my first triathlon, was the opposite. Like the guys that beat me on the swimming, because they were like stronger and a little bit heavier, they could not run in the end as fast as I could. And then I just passed everybody and won my first triathlon. Then I said, that's my sport, so I'm gonna stick with it.
So early on, the goal was to get to the Olympics, and you did.
Yes.
You went in 2000, Athens and Beijing?
Beijing and London.
Beijing
Yes.
and London, 8 and 12.
Yes.
And obviously with Rio coming up in 16,
Yes.
that was the goal, because that's your home country. You want to race in Rio. And how were the first 2 Olympic experiences?
Wow, was pretty amazing. Like I started the sport with the wish to represent my country in Olympic Games.
Yes.
And I did that with 22 years old. But then in Beijing, my race didn't went as I expected. I was quite frustrating after the race, and because I already did some long courses before, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back for long. And then in 2009, I raced Brazil. I got second, and then I qualified for Kona. But then when I was there in Kona, I think on Friday, just before the race, is when they announced that Rio would be the Olympics.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, like how many athletes want to race an Olympic or have the opportunity to race an Olympics in our home
country?
soil?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I was like, I should go back to Olympic distance, so I cannot miss that. And by that time, I was making the counts. Like, okay, after 2016, I still gonna be like 30, so I still have enough time to come back. Wow, did it work well? I don't regret anything. I did good results as Olympic athlete. I won the Pan American Games in 2011. I made it to Olympics, and I did win few World Cups, so
yes.
I was pretty happy with it, and everything was going well. But then in beginning of 2014, I had an injury on my Achilles, and I was like handling all year long trying to recover. But by the end of the year, I made the decision to have a surgery to get fixed. And anyway, I think it was the right decision, but took me a while to come back, to still have the strength in the leg to keep it running as I used to do before. And that really
that put you out of the Olympics?
Yeah, put me out of the Olympics. And then I was kind of feeling, oh man, I just, that's not the end I wanted for my Olympic career, so I should try one more games to go to Tokyo. And everything was going well. was inside the spot to qualify. But then right here in Edmonton in 2019, we had a very bad crash in the end of the bike course here in the WTS, and I broke my arm.
Oh my God.
So the recovery was faster, was not a problem, but I just missed like few important races. That was
would have got you points to go to the Olympics.
That was right after the race here. I could not race. Then I went down to the ranking, and anyway, then everybody knows, like after that was the pandemic, not the races, and so no time to come back. And
you couldn't do any races to get points.
Yeah, that's it. And then anyway, I decided like, okay, now I have to go long because I'm 35. So far it's working pretty good. Yeah.
So wait, you did Ironman Brazil in 2004.
Yes.
When you're 18 years old.
18, yes.
Right. And then 18 years later,
yes,
you did it again.
Yes.
And how'd you do?
Yeah, I won. And I was
in sub 8 hours.
Yeah, a bit more than 1 hour faster.
An hour faster than when you're 18 years old.
18
years later.
Yeah, 18 years later. Yeah.
That is pretty amazing. Yeah. You are the fountain of youth. Why do you think you're faster now? Because you still have all that ITU speed that you've brought over to the long distance?
Yeah, for sure. As I said, if we look now, the guys are doing great on long course are the guys who are doing great on the short course.
Right.
Like Daniela, when ITU put the World Sprint Championship in Lausanne, she was third. She was in the podium.
Right.
So and then she was like podium in a sprint distance, and then now she dominated the sport in the long course for so many years. Same thing with Frodo. He was Olympic
gold medal. Yeah.
And then when he switched to the long course, he was using all his speed to performing. And now we have the Norwegian guys doing the same. So I think that's the way. So it's not a slow sport or a slow distance. It's just about to have more endurance.
Right.
But you have to be fast. Otherwise.
Well, yeah, and you from taking the speed and doing long distance, do you find, because what happens a lot of times is people go, oh, well, I'm an Ironman now, I'm going to train long and slower.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've avoided that. You're still training hard, sort of shorter and harder.
Yes. Like you have to have like you cannot miss the speed work. You have to have endurance. You have to go long. Of course, you cannot go fast every time.
Right.
But you have to work your speed, and we can just see like nobody can do the speed the sport is doing now in the long course.
Right.
Without working that like.
Exactly.
Every time, yeah.
So now, are you with that? You'll be going back to Kona.
Yes, I am qualifying this year. Yes.
And when you raced Kona once before?
Twice.
Twice. And how'd you do?
2009 when was my first time. I think after the bike I was 6. I was pretty good. I was doing well, but then I just started the running and I was like dead. I remember Crowe won. That year was the
2011?
9. It was the year Lieto. Okay. Lieto was away. So I did the return in Javi. Was Lieto, myself, Ferris, and Marino.
Oh yeah, Marino.
So we are all 4 in front. And I was like very excited, but then after that my race started to go down, and the marathon was really suffering. Was really hot 2009.
Yep.
And then I did again in 2016, but no, I don't have good memories from 2016. Like I got there really tired because that time you have to make like points as well.
You were trying,
yeah, and I needed to qualify. I got like one of the last spots, so I keep it racing a lot.
So you did multiple Ironmans to get there.
Yeah, and then when I got there in Kona, I was like just flat. And it was not a good.
The goal became just to get to Kona.
Yes. But this year is I'm quite excited. So when I started the year, I was like, okay, I have Brazil Ironman. I'm gonna do Roth, what is like a legend race.
Yes.
And if I qualify to Kona, that's gonna be an amazing year. And now
you've done all of it.
Yeah, and now I got my wild card to be here on the PTO. So I'm right behind the guys to get my automatic qualifying for the Collins Cup.
Yes.
I'm right now in 7th place.
Ooh.
So pretty close to the 4th spot guys. So we're pretty much gonna fight on Sunday to get on the last spot.
Who are you competing with for that spot?
Max Newman
Yes.
is the 4th guy.
Yes.
Then Sam Appleton is the 5th, and Kyle Smith, I think is the 6th.
Yeah.
But it's 1 point different, pretty much
Between the four of you.
Between 4 of us.
How fun is that?
Yeah, and then I think who gets in front on Sunday is the one.
This is because this is the last race.
Yeah,
this is the qualifier.
Yes. So
when
excited.
your first opportunity to go to Challenge Roth, you go 7:52, you take 3rd. Magnus wins in 7:35. Patrick Lange in Ironman, multiple time Ironman world champion, 7:44, and you get 3rd in that amazing field. Now I love Roth. I think it's the most amazing event. The crowds on Solar Hill, the beer mile, the stadium, all the epic parts.
You know, I said that after I finished the race there on my interviews, and when I first started the sport, like in 99, 2000, my coach, he had like a VCR tape. When a Lotto ladder broke the first time 80 hours in Roth.
I was there, yes.
And man, I watched that tape for like 100 times. Like in that time we didn't have internet or YouTube or anything, so I just keep watching and seeing the race like he was breaking. I was like, man, he's breaking 80 hours, you know. And now,
again, now they're breaking 7.
Yeah, and now 20 years late, I went there, did my race, and also I was sub-8, and then that was like a dream for me. Like it was just so cool, so amazing. Yeah.
What a great experience, man! And so 3 sub-8 races in a row. And when I look at just, you know, the Ironman Brazil 7, and that was that your first Ironman win?
On full distance, yes.
First full was
First
in
full
Brazil.
In Brazil, yes.
Yeah, your home country.
Yes,
So you didn't get to be in the Olympics in Brazil, but you got to win the Ironman Brazil.
Yeah, that's true, and it was one of the best experience in my life. Like just cross that line, and in the last 5 kilometers, I was already in the lead. You know, with 5 minutes lead. And I was just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna do it, you know, after such a long time, and to hold that emotion in the last kilometers and cross that line was was good.
Well, in Ironman Brazil to Roth was only 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
So you did 2 Ironmans, 5 weeks apart, and 3rd in one and win the other one.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's working.
Wow. That is unbelievable. So the rest of the season, after this, if you make Collins Cup, obviously you go to Collins Cup, then you have Kona.
Yes.
And then would you do St. George as well, or probably stay away from that?
No, I probably stay away.
Yeah.
Though, as I said, 2016 was a good lesson for me. So I got really flat, with a full season, training and chasing races. So I'm qualifying to St. George as well, but I'll wait to decide.
Well, you can see, because you can decide if you feel good afterwards.
Yes.
After Kona, what the heck?
Yeah,
you got a couple weeks because you obviously do well with not a lot of rest in between.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so I was reading that. So you watched that race on TV so many different times, Challenge Roth.
Yes.
And you knew that you wanted to go do that sometime.
Yes.
Did it live up to expectations in terms of the crowds and everything else?
Yeah, you know, when you see on TV, you cannot imagine, because the race is not just in one spot. It's so split out in the area.
Yep.
And then everywhere you passing, there are people on the street.
Yeah. Everywhere.
When you race, let's say the World Triathlon in Hamburg, you see a lot of people cheering, but it's a course just in a 4-kilometer loop.
Right.
So then everybody's concentrated just in one spot. But Roth is is all the area, and everywhere you go, you have lots of people cheering and making you go faster, and it's amazing.
Very special. What's funny about that race? It's in most of these places like Edmonton, you have a lot of hotels. People stay in hotels.
Yeah.
I think there's 14 hotel rooms in Roth. I mean, everybody camps or stays at homestays, or they stay in other cities. But you have 250,000 people on that course.
Yeah.
It's cheering.
Yes.
It's nutty.
Yeah.
There's really not another race in the world like it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So excited already to come back next year.
So I love the fact that you're 36 and going faster than ever.
Yeah. So let's see how fast I still can go.
We'll find out. And now, as a WTS during the ITU years, did you race here a lot? For when you were doing ITU races?
Yes, I did.
So you know this area and this course?
Yes, I did it 3 times here. I was 5th in a World Cup. I think, I don't remember the year, but really.
Yeah.
And then in the grand final here in 2014, I did a breakaway with Alistair and Blumenfeld.
Yes.
We broke away.
With Christian?
Yeah,
Wow.
we 3 broke away on the bike, and then we opened like in 90 seconds, I think, a minute 30. And then Alistair won. I was 9th or 10th, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember which place Blumenfeld came, because he was the youngest one.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But it was really amazing. Like I still remember, like, okay, I broke away and with the 2 Olympic.
Yes, you broke away 2 Olympic golds.
Yeah.
3 Olympic golds between them.
Yeah, so that was, it's pretty amazing, like to have that memory from here in Edmonton. So yeah, hope Sunday I'll make another good memory.
Exactly. What is your goal for Sunday?
Well, Brazil Ironman to Roth was 5 weeks. Now Roth to this race is only 3.
Oh my God.
So I'm not that tired actually. My recovery after Ironman Brazil was harder than from Roth. After Roth, I was quite recovering quickly. I didn't push hard on the training because only 3 weeks. I was more recovering. But yeah, if my body responds well, I think I can fight maybe for a top 5 on Sunday. It'll be really good. Yeah.
Congratulations on everything you're doing. Such a
you.
pleasure to finally get to meet you after
you.
all these years.
Same for me.
And I'm sure I'll see you in Kona.
Yeah, and I hope we speak before and after the race.
I love it.
Okay.
Reinaldo Colucci has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Edmonton, Canada. Hold on. We will be right